Hey everybody, thought I'd make a quick video for you guys of my Retics breeding. This is my huge A-male tiger female breeding my equally huge male sunfire. As you can see, I'm not sure if it'll come up as I really don't want to disturb them, but they're locked up right now. I know there are a lot of questions about breeding retics, so I think I'll answer some of those questions. One, you want to make sure you have a male and a female. A lot of times people get two snakes and they don't know the sex of both snakes and they just put them together and it ends up being two males, and the males end up fighting and either seriously hurting one another or actually killing the other. So you want to make sure you have a male and a female. Second thing, I hear a lot of people say, well, what size is the minimum size for a female to breed? Age is more, you want the female to have more age than size. Females typically go around earliest 3 years on. This female right in particular is, I believe, a 5-year-old female. So age plays more of a factor than the size of the female. So you want to make sure your female is at least 3 years old before you start, trying to mate her. Males typically can go anywhere from 18 months on. Some males may breed earlier than that, but typically 18 months is, from what I've been told of what I've heard, is the minimum age for males. Unlike other python species like ball pythons, I only cool down the male. I don't do anything to the female's temperature or enclosure. I just cool down the male. I take his nighttime temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. I believe that cooling down the male gives you a better chance at producing more eggs to slugs. I think it makes the sperm more viable if you cool the male down. But that's just me. Now, when you make your introductions with your two snakes, one or two things will happen. Either the female will get agitated and start flicking her tail from side to side and do what's known as musking. What she'll do is she'll spray urine all over the enclosure in an attempt to deter the male from breeding to her because, she's not ready. A lot of people get this confused with being receptive to breeding, but that is not the case. If a female is wagging her tail from side to side, that is a sure sign that she is not ready to mate. A receptive female will do one thing. She'll lay on the cage floor and she will let the male do his business. You may see a bump or two, well, I like to call them coil bumps, from the female, typically because she's not used to another snake in her enclosure. But once she finds out, or once she figures out that, A, he's not food, and B, he wants to mate, she'll just typically just lay there and, this is what you'll end up with. After copulation, normally it takes about 6 or more times of them locking up like this for her to become gravid. Some people have seen it in less than 3 times of them locking up, but 6 times is more the the norm. I typically take my male out every 4 days, just to try to offer him food. But typically males won't be feeding at this time, just like females. A lot of females will go off feed, and some females won't go off feed. Some females, I've heard, you know, all throughout the breeding season, they were eating and still laid big viable clutches of eggs. So every snake is different. Every snake doesn't read, you know, the manual on how to be a snake. So you may get one that eats and you may get one that goes off feed, but males typically won't eat because they're too into breeding. Just like this big boy I have here, I took him out I believe yesterday and offered him some food, but you know, he wanted none of that, so I just threw him right back in with my female. And that's really about it. Once the eggs come, well, once the female ovulates, she'll go what's known as a pre-ovulation shed, and from then on, I believe you have about 35 to 45 days before you actually see eggs after that shed. And once you have eggs, depending on if the female was, you know, bred before, or if this is her first time breeding, will typically determine the outcome of how many eggs she actually lays versus, you know, slugs. If it's her first time breeding, she may lay, you know, a lot of slugs and maybe only give you about 15 or 20 good viable eggs, as opposed to a female who's been bred 2 or 3 times that may give you 40 or 60 eggs with only maybe 1 slug. So like I said, age and how many times she has been bred really factors into your egg count. And once the eggs have laid, it's typically around 80 to 85 days before they hatch. Eggs are incubated at a temperature between 89 and 90 degrees with a 100% humidity. The thing with eggs is, once they're incubating, you may want to go in and check on them about once a week, just to let air exchange and, you know, gas exchange happen. You don't want to keep opening the eggs or the incubator too much, as that's how you lose a lot of your heat and your humidity. So about typically once a week, you want to go in there and check your eggs and make sure they're not dimpling or sinking in or, you know, rotting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video, and be ready to see the world's first het A-male sun tigers, which will then in turn produce the world's first, what I'm going to call the type 2 supernova, which is a super sunfire, super tiger, A-male albino. Try saying that 5 times fast. So I hope you enjoyed this little video, and you can post your questions and I'll try to answer them, you know, or comments or what have you. And thanks for watching.